Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. I'm Steve Mynott, Director, Eagle Bay Resources. Eagle Bay Resources, we are a private, soon to be public on the CSE. Rare earth element, niobium we are focused on, 85 kilometers northeast of Prince George. So we are BC located. Moving forward, brief description of our team here. Always want to have a great management resource, so forth. So, you know, Dave Hodge, he brings about 25 years plus. Darren Smith, he's one that I don't know too many people that know more about rare earths than him. And Jody DeRouge, Rouge Geological, which is responsible for actually staking the Eagle Bay property that we have in our company at the moment. You know, as I mentioned, we're focused on rare earth elements. The supply is lacking. The demand continues to increase and increase. So that is where, you know, once I first started with Eagle Bay over a year ago, the mindset behind it was, you know, we need to acquire more property. The more property that you have, the more work that you can put into it, and the more resources you can create. I don't need to say too much on how big the electrical vehicle market is. You can just go into your phone at the moment and Google EV market, and everyone all over the globe is speaking about how much and where this is going to go. So I don't see this just being around for a short 2-3 years. This is over the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and that's not just me speaking about this. Again, the demand shock did shock quite a few people how much it was going to take off. I believe in the first quarter of last year, it was only projected about 3 million were going to be created in the year, and it was 10 million that was created of electrical vehicles in the first quarter. So I don't think everyone was anticipating just how much it was going to take off, but you know, one thing says one thing, and it can take off to as big as you want it to, which it seems this electrical vehicle market has. Usually weekly, we get a report on where the rare earth elements are sitting. As you can see, the climb that it's done since April 2020 to the time of, you know, recently April 21st, 2022, which is quite a significant increase. Sure, it's tapered off just a little bit, but I mean, at the same time, it's still starting to increase. And like any market, you like to see this because you don't want to see something that's increasing for 2 years straight. You want to get a little bit of pull off, give some people a time to catch up, and then they can continue on with the market. As I've touched on the electrical vehicle market, you can't really not see this guy's face and talk about this industry. But for me, you know, it's the wording that he uses, and that's my mindset behind each and everything that I see. I don't want to watch something that's going to just pass me by. I want to be a part of it. So that is a key reason why you know, Eagle Bay is at our forefront here, why we're moving it public. And yeah, I mean, I couldn't be happier to be a part of such a big company in the middle of this industry. As I touched on, I mean, our property is some niobium we are focused on. There was some limited drilling done in 2019, which we did come out of with 3% niobium, which are some really good results. Niobium is, you know, it may be a little more, it's not talked about as much. There needs to be a little more education brought into the niobium industry, I believe. However, it is a big benefit. People are looking to lower their margins, and I believe with purchasing niobium, it's able to strengthen the steel without having to go out and purchase, you know, large amounts of steel. So you can see some of the results in the intersects that we had on our cap carbonatite target. And again, as I touched on, so when I first started with Eagle Bay, we only had the cap property. Now, as you can see, over the first 6 months that I was moving forward, I decided to, you know, everyone's looking for resources. So the best thing that we can do is go and acquire as much property as possible. And strategically, I was looking at carbonatite claims. So majority of this property is primarily carbonatite claims, which is what is needed for this market. As you can see, I'm butting up right next door to Defense Metals. And they recently, you know, they have about $4 million in flow through that's going to be spent on the ground, which is a great benefit for Eagle Bay Resources because we are, as I said, right next door to them. Some of the results that they put forward recently were 6% trio total rare earth oxide. And the only other company in the industry that has that result in North America is MP Materials, and they're trading at $30 a share. So for us to be right beside a company which is giving those results, that is a really, really encouraging time to be a part of, for us to get some prospecting done through the summer, some soil sampling, and eventually a drill into the ground. Moving on to, just recently, 2 weeks ago, I can say firsthand that I was just on the property with my senior geologist. You can see some pictures. These were just taken 2 weeks ago up on the property. That's the Wichita Lake, and thanks to some of the mineralization and carbonatite that is up in the Wichita, that's what makes the lake this color. So it's very, very encouraging for geologists and anyone that you're bringing up there to see the lakes that are these colors. Because it just means some of the mineralization, the carbonatite that is up there. And, people from all over get flown in here to see these kinds of lakes, to fish and so forth. And then some of the outcrop that you see, this outcrop is actually from drilling on the Wichita, which Eagle Bay has its property on. My senior geologist was up there just by visual point of view. Some of the outcrop there, he could see rare earth elements showing. He could see some of the nice intersects. So for us, when we go to a drill program, just by visual point of view, being able to see that, we're not going to have to go meters and meters down with our drill program. And as I touched on earlier, if you were attending, keep in mind that, exploration, the soil sampling, the rock sampling, that is a big part right now with the rare earth elements and niobium, because people are lacking resources. The more that I can get the results of the soil sample, the rock sample, geologists exploring, that attracts more and more attention from the big companies that are putting money into this electrical vehicle market because they want the resources. And they are really, really starting to look at BC. And as I'm sure you've seen, the shift is starting to happen with China cutting off their resources. Everyone's now starting to go through Europe, BC, Canada. And that is where, as I touched on and started with, that Eagle Bay couldn't be in a better position in this market going forward at this time. We have the right amount of shareholders to go public. We have enough money in the bank to go public. So sooner than later, hopefully in the next few months here, we will be public on the CSE. And for us, sky's the limit. We'll continue to move forward. We'll continue to create our story. And as you can see, first and foremost, we don't just have a resource. We don't just have an area play. We have both, which is fantastic for Eagle Bay Resources. And we're excited to see what the future holds. So thank you for attending today. I hope you enjoy PDAC. It's great to see everyone in person as opposed to just over Zoom. So once again, thanks very much. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the show.